are you?
Yo, crypto pirates, there you go. You're on the Y55 Rec Pirate channel. I'm here with my anchorman, OG, Dave 43, OG 43. I don't know why I've got your label there, mate. There you go.
Mate, we don't even know each other's names. That's the problem here. You don't know you don't know your name. I don't know my name. No one else knows our name. They were talking about it on Discourse Syndicate the other day. No one knows our names, mate. We need to clarify. We need to clarify what our names are.
I've changed mine around because everyone, I heard a couple of the lads, the YouTube lads going calling me Piss Wreck Pirate. And I was like, no, that's not right. I can't be shilling the name like that. It's got no credibility whatsoever. So now it's the I-55 Wreck Pirate. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I'm just going to call you Wrecked Pirate, mate. Whatever prefix you put in there, I don't mind. But I'll just call you Wrecked Pirate. For me, that's easier.
No worries. Well, I think it's just a crypto thing where you don't, you have to go by a handle. You don't go by your real name because, you don't want to get doxed.
Yeah,
as they call it.
That's it.
All these crypto terms. How are you going with all the crypto acronyms and whatnot?
Oh, mate. Tech in general with acronyms is just ridiculous. Just in general.
Yeah, right.
It's out of control. It's out of
like
control.
Another language.
It is. Yeah. It is. And there's no point learning them because, there's probably about 3 or 4 acronyms across different fields that are all the same. Well, there's more than that. There's heaps of acronyms that across 3 or 4 different fields are all the same. And you get if you're working in more than one of those fields, you'll have to specify. It sort of gets it's a bit ridiculous, but anyway.
Go ahead, keep going.
I was going to say, what a fantastic week for people in the HEX community, especially.
Oh,
what massive. A fantastic week!
Oh, it's great.
Awesome, mate. It's been awesome.
We've gone from the poor house to the penthouse, and it was great. It was so good.
Yeah,
I know.
It has been good.
It was unreal, unbelievable.
Have we shielded this stream in the for people to come and watch from in the HEX group?
Put it on Tinder. I'll put it on HEX Viral in the Telegram. I'll just put it on. So look, guys, if it's your first time joining us and girls, we are just a variety channel. We talk about HEX crypto here. We're about education. We want to. If it's your first time and you want to learn about HEX. We're going to go through some of our favourite stuff, just some general interest, but we're going to delve into some HEX game theory, in particular the shares and the staking. And I've got some shout outs to do before we get going. And as OG said, what I'll do is I normally don't shill to the Hexicans because they're already converted. We're trying to get. That's what I mean. Like it's sort of an educational. The reason we started the channel was just because we could see that people weren't. I mean, it was being gatekept, and I just think that we just needed to be get it out there a bit more. So I'll pop this in the main HEX channel. I'll pop it into the HEX Pro. That seems to be where I sort of hang out quite a bit, and then we'll do the shout out. I'll do a couple of shout outs because it's actually been some really awesome developments, in the sort of going mainstream with it.
Is that the link there? I'm just looking the link under my name there.
I'm not sure I'm not sure why it hasn't. I was bringing up why is that brought up your name there? There's a technical.
Well,
thing.
we're just confusing the audience with these different names. Now they think I'm bloody, what is it? StreamYard, and I'll change it.
Let me go into guest and change that.
I'll go change it. There we go. I just did it, mate.
Oh, that's on yours. That's on your side. So yeah, day 43, OG in the house. And we've got this show. We're teaming up, and just to make it a bit of a variety and a bit of interest. And so yeah, moving right along. What I want to do, OG, is basically highlight a couple of articles that I found that are really interesting, and I'm just going to read this out. There's a guy, Taylor Kennedy. Have you? And he's been in.
I've seen. Yep. He's
really well written. Yep.
A bloke in the community. I've seen him. Yep.
Yep. And if that's him in that picture, how's that Ned Kelly beard looking, mate? It's a cracker.
It is. Look at that. That is a legit beard, mate.
He's got the Ned Kelly beard happening, big time. So look, DeFi's cream of the crop blazes ahead with 2,000 transactions per second at 0.1 / transaction privacy, 100% uptime and audit. So look at this. I mean, it's years in the making. A complete product with flawless code, good design, really pays off. And also, I was going to shout out to Hexologist Clips as well, just because he is on the ball, this bloke. Like, he put out a tutorial for the ZK syncs, really easy to understand. And that was like on the day that it came out. And he also put out a tutorial about the Uniswap thing just in the last week, and we may get to talk about that. But I know that. And I was going to also shout out to Discourse Syndicate as well, because they were talking about that today, the Uniswap tokens. I mean, that was just like, I mean, the best I've done. I mean, I won a 42-inch plasma TV once, and I thought that was good. But you know, I mean,
let's break it. Well, let's just break it down for the audience. What happened very quickly. So this was on, I believe it was it Thursday morning? I think it was Thursday morning.
Yeah, it was. It was Thursday. It was about Thursday, about lunchtime that I got into it. I was a bit behind the 8 ball, but I was watching. I had the Discourse Syndicate live stream on my computer at work, and I was just watching it, half asleep actually. I was sort of.
I saw Randy.
Yeah, Randy.
He posted a link.
Oh, did he?
Going to that article and I read through it then, and I'm like, this is what's going on here. And it didn't sort of sink in straight away, but then the chat started going crazy. The Hex chat started going crazy. And g'day Into the Fire. How are you, mate?
Thanks for joining us. We've gone up by we're up to 65 subscribers. OG,
so 43,552.
That's
how many days we've been in lockdown, yeah.
Oh, you poor buggers. I know, it's shocking. I mean, hey, I've heard there's some green shoots though that you might be getting going again shortly.
Hope so.
I don't know. I'm sort of a little bit detached from it. We're just trying to keep things going up here, and
I think it gets warmer, yep. You know, there's less cases of just the common, like, people get less sick with flu type things as the weather gets better, don't they? So I think let's just hope it gets all the cases go to zero and they let us out of our friggin' houses.
Yeah.
We're sick of it, man. We're sick of it.
I know, it must be driving you nuts. I mean, I heard that they fined someone down there for going too far for fried chicken. They got in their car after curfew and went to get some Kentucky Fried Chicken.
How are you supposed to get through a lockdown? God damn it, without Kentucky Fried Chicken?
How's that? There's something wrong. There's something wrong when that happens, eh? There's got to be something wrong with that.
Yeah. Look, I don't know, man. That's like, you know, what's that?
No, I was just going to say, I'll just go quickly, just do this finish this shout out to Taylor Kennedy, who's been writing this stuff, and it's really, really well written, and with the highlights and everything like that. And the other article that I saw was this one. Have you read this one? It's the HEX, the new kid on the block that's about to transform another sector of cryptocurrency. And I've been sending that around to some fairly heavy hitters, guys that I know that have got money. And they're like, that's very interesting. And I've got some meetings. I've got a couple of big high-level meetings set up as well. All right, and then
it's good, mate. It's good. I haven't had a chance. I haven't had a chance to read. I saw that you sent them through to me. I've been reading stuff all day, just for things for work, and I just haven't had a chance to really sink my teeth into those yet.
Well, I'll put the links in the description, guys, and if you want to have a look at those articles, they're really well written, and I think that we've really turned the corner as far as all the FUD and crap that was going on at the start of HEX, where they were just basically calling it a scam, and that narrative's been well and truly swept aside. I think the main issue is that people aren't getting the opportunity to look at it because of the censorship and which is, to me, I don't know. I mean, it's beggars belief. I suppose it doesn't really matter, but it just seems strange that you're seeing all this collusion and corruption and things like that goes on in this sector.
It's not very good, mate. It's not very good. Look, let's call it out. I mean, it's coin market cap, Binance basically, right? Binance owns coin market cap,
right?
As far as I understand, and they're gatekeeping HEX, so they're imposing their values. They're imposing their values on, and like these values have really nothing to do with crypto, do they? Like they're just
they're basically a middleman, a centralized exchange. They're like a bank, and
they're leeches, mate. They're leeches in the crypto system. They're leeches. They leech off the users.
Right.
And look, they as Richard Hart mentions frequently, crypto was created to stop to get rid of middlemen. But these guys seem to be gatekeeping HEX, and Uniswap has sort of gatekept HEX as well. But who has shouted out Uniswap more than Richard Hart over the last year? I mean,
well, I know it's an irony. It's an irony in itself that he was beside himself yesterday on his live stream. God, that was one of the best. I like it. It was when he came on and he's just like. He's riding the like there's no tomorrow. He was giving it to him. It was gold.
Well, what was interesting was that Coin Market Cap gate kept the Uni token for a few hours. So the Uniswap got a bit of their own medicine for a few hours before they put them on. But they put them on within a few hours. Meanwhile, HEX is still like just hanging out at 201,
chugging along, and it was like
crazy.
And he just, I know. And then after the live stream, those big green candles, they were quite interesting. Well, that was quite a nice little pump right through from basically went from under 0.003 of a cent to over to four something 4 point fourth of a 400th of a cent. Yeah. So I've actually got the chart that I've moved over to I'm actually using the beta decks. So if you don't know, there's a guy called anyone. I know this is probably preaching to the converted with the HEX guys, but there's a guy called Firebun that's developed this website called HEX Uniswap. Was it Uniswap.vision? And basically it takes the live data from Uniswap.
Great site.
And
that's a great site. Uniswap.vision. Yeah, I love it, mate. I'm on that every day. I'm on it every day.
And the other thing that he's behind as well, and as you know, he's behind HEX Vision as well, and he's also behind HEX Wiki, which is because it was interesting. We had was it Blue Bum on our show last week. And that's the other thing, guys. We're gonna switch over if we got new stuff going. If there's a lot going on in HEX, we're gonna try and do it like a weekly regular stream at the same time or a fortnightly one. But just depending on how busy we are and things like that, if we can tee it up and if people like it, we'll get in front of it, won't we, OG? That's the plan.
We will. G'day, Sapper.
We got the Sapper back. He's been a great supporter of the channel as well. He's one of the He's been watching us as we develop and learn as we work through or as we go through this stuff. But yeah, there's basically going back to the charts now. He's released a beta version. Now I don't know. This is probably about all over my head because I'm like that's probably where we are. We're like you asked the right questions, OG. Like you've got a bit more of a background in crypto and a bit more knowledge, and you've been around HEX a bit longer than me. I think you were sort of part. You were at the start waiting for it to come out, and in the Telegram and that early on, weren't you? Is that right?
The Telegram I joined like in the first month or so, but okay. I was like, I knew what on the first day I was claiming what I needed to claim and doing all that sort of stuff.
Right.
But I didn't get into the Telegram. I'd never used Telegram before. Before HEX, and I got in the first month or so. But I didn't get into the main one. I don't think I was in the main chat. I think I was like just in the Kyle's DCA chat.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in Kyle's DCA chat from at the start. There's another guy who's been great to the community. Kyle. Oh yeah.
That bloke is
layman's
guy.
As
far as I'm concerned, he's a saint, mate. I love that bloke. He is an absolute saint. But you'll notice that when you type in HEX on the on the beta version, that basically the Uniswap version 1 charts are gone. So it's like a bit of a reset.
What's the URL? Can you tell me what the because I'm on the Uniswap.vision. What's the beta one?
Yeah,
what's that URL?
Okay, it's got beta.dex.vision. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what that's about or why that's happening, but
beta.dex.vision.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot more tokens on there. Like, look, speaking of the flavor of the week, the dump coin of the week. Where was that? Did you see that? That I couldn't believe it. I FOMO'd so hard to claim that.
Which? Uni, yeah. That was, dude. Oh my!
Like I sold the top. I sold it for 4,000. It was 4,000 Australian dollars.
Yeah,
for 400.
Good work, mate.
And I got like 900,000 HEX. Nearly $1 million.
That's awesome, mate. Man. That is awesome.
Oh, it was just gold. It was gold.
I can't say I sold the top. Unfortunately, I can't say. I wish I had sold the very top. I was sitting there looking at it when it was at
that was just one. Yeah, that was one.
Yeah, when it hit when it was in the $7, I didn't see it go to 8, but I think it was on Saturday.
7.5 Ethereum, 7.5 ETH. It was like, are you serious? Yeah, the first, and then but the earlier one, like, because I claimed about 5 wallets and I was selling them at 3.5 Ethereum, thinking that was good. And then when I came back to my computer and a day later it doubled, and I went, what? Should have been patient. But anyway,
mate, look, you can never never
look a gift horse in the mouth. Thank you, Uni. Thanks for the free HEX. Loving your work. How good was it? That was. I mean, you just can't read about that stuff. You wouldn't. Who gives away that kind of dough?
The people I've told just they straight out don't believe me. They're like, what?
Yeah, really, they don't believe you.
Well, yeah. How is it possible that you get that just for having interacted with, like, using a website? Yep. And I said, well, I had more than one wallet, so it's not just one. So I got,
multiple. Yeah.
And they just like, I don't, and they're like, can I claim it? I'm like, well, you know what? If you'd gotten to HEX when I told you to get into HEX and you'd started playing around with it, you would have probably got that as well. Yeah, there's one bloke in particular I was speaking to, and I said to him, can I just, he didn't even want to get the HEX off. I said, I'll give you some HEX, mate.
Yeah, exactly. I sent $10 worth of ETH. I sent $10 worth of ETH to a bloke in March, and then I sent him an email on Friday. I said, hey, by the way, did you know you can get free uni tokens. You better get on like $10 a ETH. I sent him on back in March, and then he used the Uniswap, and then I got him into HEX after that. And yeah,
mate, that dude, that bloke should.
He upped
but did he get the uni tokens?
He got the uni. Yeah, of course he got. And I said, I want 20%. You know, and he sent me like, he sent my $10 back. I said, you, a typical engineer, you know. Hey, but anyway, horses, but that's all right. Yeah. Yeah, man, that was good.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's what's that?
Into the Fire got 580 HEX for his uni coins. Nice. How nice is that?
Good work, mate.
I mean, I thought about it because I'm glad that I held some. I'm glad that I sort of held some for a day just to think about it, because I was like, what is it? And then I realized when you think about it, it's like Richard said, it's basically just a coin duct taped on. You know, it's like so, and you always try. I guess you go with your first instinct. My first instinct was, if everyone's getting these free coins, the price is going to plummet because everyone's just going to flog them, like dump them, you know. But it just took a few days. It took about 2 or 3 days of the FOMO, you know, before they realised the sell pressure. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not certainly. That's not my area of expertise by a long shot. All that trading stuff. I mean, that's why HEX is the perfect coin. HEX is the perfect coin for me, because it's a deflationary asset that just gets more valuable over time. And that's my
same with me, mate. I don't have time for that, for trading and doing all that stuff. I don't have enough time in my life. I'm not interested in it. I know what happens when you do stuff like that. Unless you really are educated about it, and you spend all day long looking at a screen, good luck. Good luck just trying to pick winners as they come along. So yeah, I'm with you on that, mate. I think we've said it before. Trading is a waste of your time and a waste of your life, mate. And that's why HEX is great. You set, you forget. Well, don't forget. Download download the calendar notification from. Yeah.
That's right.
From hexinfo.io. You can put in your address and it will give you calendar notification. It will give you a file that has calendar notifications that you can import into like your Gmail calendar, and then you'll get a notification via email or on your smartphone whenever your stakes are about to expire. So can't get better than that, mate.
It's so awesome. I've actually done that. I've set up a dedicated calendar in Outlook with I'll probably have to redo it because that was a while ago. Like I pretty much had all my my main what I wanted to do probably in March, but I guess it's just still just trying to accumulate. Like it's the HEX game theory. It just gets you in and keeps you there, But that's all the stuff that's been built on the blockchain. Is by the community, by the way. There's no developers or anything. There's just really smart, awesome community people that want to do good for the world. Like check out the quality of this stuff. No other cryptocurrency in the world does this. It is by far the best cryptocurrency going around, and you can call me crazy or whatever, but I think there's plenty of people that would agree with that. And
you're right, mate. You're 100% right. No other community would come up with this stuff just because they want to. Like these guys have done this because they want to come up with it. They want to do it for the community, so they've done it, and we've all benefited from that. Yep.
Hey, thanks for the comments, guys. I really enjoy reading through the comments and that as we work and as we go through this. But yeah, mate. These are what I'm showing you, people. If you're new to HEX, is basically some of the favorite websites that we use, that I use on a daily basis. But yeah, what about this? Should we do it? Sure. What I'll do is I might just put an invite into the HEX Pro channel and see if any comes. I'll put it into the Cutthroats channel, the Discourse Syndicate's Cutthroat channel. It is 11 o'clock at night over in the States. And however, look, you're welcome to join us. It's an open door. We like to get different points of view, and we like to share ideas and things like that. We're predominantly focused on HEX, but I mean that's because there's enough within the game theory of HEX to keep me interested for forever. Like I don't really need to care about all these other crypto industry type, just awareness of the fundamentals and the technicals and the China and all that stuff. But otherwise, all those other cryptos don't interest me.
Yeah, no, I'm the same, mate. I'm not interested in the rest, unless they want to give it to me for free. Not really the free interested, stuff, mate. The free stuff is very.
So you can
I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
Hey, are you going to go and trade on Mooniswap? I'm thinking of doing it. I heard some people talking about it. They said go on there and do it. They might do something similar in future. Who knows? I mean, what are you going to lose? You just got all this free money, and it's sort of just giving it a go just in case. Just in case they might be a waste of money though if you're just doing it for that. And nothing happens.
The links in HEX Pro if you want to get on the stream, guys. The links in HEX Pro if you want to get on the stream, guys. Welcome to join us.
Absolutely.
We had Jono. Was it Jono last week? I'm not sure. Blue Bums his call sign. He was on. He's on Twitter as well, and that was good. He was really smart too. I looked. There's some really great minds in HEX. And speaking of great minds, have you had a look at some of this HEX graphs? I mean, this stuff here, and as I say, this is not financial advice, guys. This is just us sort of talking about what we're into and sharing some of the information that we use. And
I haven't had a look at this site. I've seen it. There he is.
Hey guys.
Here he is. Blue Bum.
G'day, mate.
How you going, buddy?
How you going? Yeah,
He's back for a second course.
Yeah, it's been a wild week, eh?
Oh, hasn't it? What? The world's changed again.
Yeah, very good week. Yeah.
Everyone in HEX has a big smile on their face this week. A big smile on their face.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you see everything else in the red and just that little green HEX, just kind of like, whoo! That's very nice. Yeah.
Uncorrelated.
I thought maybe some of the uni token money would go into some of these other DeFi tokens, but it doesn't look like it has. It looks like the Hexicans have just taken theirs and chucked it into HEX, but not sure about the rest of it. Hey,
who would have used Who would have used like Uniswap more than the Hexicans? We were using it from day one.
That's right.
All the DeFi. Yeah. But all the DeFi stuff, there was loads of stuff you could get on it.
But heaps of community. Most of it's rubbish, isn't it? Like I couldn't understand some of that yield farming stuff that went nuts. I couldn't understand what that was all about. That was like you borrow money from here.
I know. It was ridiculous. Yeah. And the funny thing is that like when I came into crypto, that whole thing had just happened in BitShares. Like they did in BitShares where you have to where you leverage something to make it into a stable coin. But what happened was that their price just started going up and down, getting really volatile, and would wreck people, or it would they'd have to stick more money and they couldn't, and basically it just didn't work. And it's the same thing's going to happen here. It's just like it's repeating itself, just like 4 or 5 years later.
Yeah,
it is. And we're the beneficiaries.
I'm glad I wasn't in crypto then, and in some respects. I'm glad I came in as clean skin. Like Richard Hart's stream, did you see me? He's like calling people pleb noobs. I was like a pleb noob 10 months ago. And
yeah, right.
It's unreal. That's just the crypto. That's just the crypto thing, isn't it? Calling people plebs, plebs and noobs.
That's a Richard Hart thing. That's
just the memes and all the stuff, the subculture that goes on.
Can I ask you guys a question? And there was something like there's or maybe people in the chat might know. There's a Hex Stats channel, and in there they have this kind of chart with all these like loads of numbers in it, and one of the columns, like it seems to be that. Hang on, I've got an echo going on.
Not these charts.
No, it was. If you go to Hex Stats.
Oh, Hex Stats. Oh, yeah.
In the Telegram channel.
Oh, righto.
You know the Telegram. The Telegram.
Yeah, so that was the original. There used to be a guy that was there used to be like a developer that he had a URL. He tried to sell that URL, and then he put an emergency end state calculator on there. He's working for that. He's working for one of the. But
anyway, look, you know how there's just under 14% of Hex is staked at the moment, or 13 point something percent. Yeah. So the thing is that after the big payday, because of all of that, like Hex goes to all the stakers. I think that like does that mean that it goes up the percentage of Hex staked?
I would say so, yeah.
So that means it's up like it's after the big payday. It's at around 40% of Hex is staked, or I'm not really sure what that column is that he's got what it refers to.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
No,
that's a good question. Actually, let's talk about that.
So hang on, guys.
That is a good question.
Richard Hart was talking about this in his stream, and I think he said that at the moment there's going to be about 180 billion Hex,
183 billion new Hex paid to stakers.
That's going to be paid to stakers. Now there's about 54 billion Hex staked at the moment.
What's the total supply?
See, the thing is, right? The amount is low, and it's going down at the moment, is because there's so much new Hex coming out each day. But 3 days before the big payday, that stops, and then it's like there's no more new money coming onto the thing, and then all of that money gets paid out to stakers, but it gets paid out in the future. So I think that the amount of Hex staked is actually like at around 40%, not at around 14% of where it is now.
Is that right? Is that how it's going to work?
I'm not sure. That's why I've kind of been asking.
Is it going to be 40%? Because if you've got 180 odd billion plus 54 billion, that's 234 billion. And then you've got a total supply of about, I think it was 670 billion, something like that. So you're looking at around a 35% stake. But don't forget that in the first 2 years, quite a lot of that comes off.
Well, I mean, you're basically adding 183 billion to the total supply via interest. So does that's
no? It's actually you know what? It's because our shares don't increase with the big payday. So our share, we're buying the share rate, right? So I guess so, like because we've burnt all these coins. That's what we do when we're staking. Or we've created the contract. That means they're staked, so that will remain the same, but it won't have the pressure of all these new coins coming in day after day. So it still will start at 14%, and that will have to be the same, but there won't be any of that. There won't be any of that pressure of new coins coming onto the market. So it should go up. So it should remain the same. I'm not really exactly sure, but I guess it should remain the same.
I think it will jump up.
Just naturally go up because of that pressure. There's only people either buying.
There's a graph on this. I've seen Hexologists on news either 2 days ago. There is a graph. I meant to actually show it, but it's basically the extension of this one. Can you see this daily payout per T share? As you said. What is it? Hex's financial freedom is what do you call yourself now? Hex's financial medicine, right?
Financial medicine.
Basically, what they're saying is by the big payday, this daily payout per T share will be up to about 6, and after the big payday, it'll be up to about 12. So, I guess the graph that you're talking about, that you're wondering about, is Where is it? It's like I'll go to the main website. It's this one here. Sorry, where is it? Is it this
so
one?
OG, did you find it a few did you find a bit of uni in some wallets?
Where was that?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
Been a good week. Been a good week. I'm very risk averse, so I had a few wallets, mate, lying around. I don't like putting all my eggs in one one, you know.
Well, that paid off.
One wallet can get compromised, right?
Yeah.
But can you imagine if all your stuff's in one wallet and it gets compromised? You know, it would be
So I've got a question on that, OG. So what are you saying is that the stake percentage of total supply will go from, what is it now, 13.89 back to sort of maybe...
Yeah, I think... No, I think actually on second thoughts, I don't think it will. I think that it will start having.
Well, it makes sense that it would. It
will probably start climbing. It's human behavior, so who knows what? But it will probably start climbing because there's people who are buying HEX. They're going to be staking some of it at least.
If you've got 54 billion staked, and then all of a sudden that's going up to 230 odd staked, then the percentage staked of the total supply, we say total supply, it's burnt, but we're just saying the percentage staked is actually going to be a higher number because all that big payday bonus is all going to the stakers. So now there's way more HEX that have been burnt.
But it's just in proportion. Like you give it in proportion to how long you've staked out.
That's the shares. But that's the shares.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying is like when we get paid the big payday, those shares don't change.
No, the shares don't change, but don't we get credited those? That gets credited on the big payday.
Yes, but only when we mint them.
Hang on, no, let's not get confused here. We can't get confused because
I think we're already confused.
No. You're right. It gets minted. They get minted when you end stake, right? They get minted when you end stake, but we're talking about the percentage staked. So everything that's staked is burnt, right? But you still count that percentage. That's still a number. It's still calculated in the contract, right? So if you go into go.hex.com and you connect your wallet, you'll be able to see the accruing interest. Now, on big payday, that amount that you've already accrued in that column will have jumped because you would have got all those extra coins that were promised, that are promised to the stakers. So I actually think the percentage the percentage stake is gonna jump up.
No,
but
it won't because those coins aren't yet minted. When they're minted,
your stakes aren't minted. But your stakes aren't minted, and they count as a percentage.
They count as being locked up.
Yeah, but they count as that percentage of 13.85, whatever the percentage is. At the moment, if we go to hex.info, that percentage of staked coins is 13 point whatever it is. So that means that when the big payday money, the big payday gets allocated, then that will also count. I mean, I'm happy for anyone to come in here and maybe explain it to me differently. If I'm not understanding it properly, I'm happy for someone to explain it to me differently. But to me, it makes sense that amount that is allocated.
There really is just layers of understanding with HEX. Like I think about when I first kind of like found out about it and tried it out to it took quite a while to kind of like really understand it. And then as I kind of continued further on, it became even more kind of, there's more layers of understanding it. It's super.
But I'm seeing people in the chat writing that it's not counted as circulating or in the market cap. Yep, I'm with you on that. But what we're talking about is that 13.86% of staked coins. That percentage, how do they work out that percentage? Well, they take the total supply, which is the ones in circulation and the staked ones, and then they add those.
No. They don't take the staked ones. That's the whole.
Well, when you're calculating that 13.86, you are taking the staked ones and counting them as well.
Okay. And then
right, so to calculate that percentage, you need all the ones that are staked, all the ones that are circulating. You add that together, and then you divide the staked ones over the circulating ones times 100. That gives you the percentage. Now, on big payday, that 13.86 is that number is actually going to go up. Instead of being 54 billion or whatever it is right now, it's going to go up to 200 and whatever billion. And the total amount's going to be more as well.
No, what happens if the day after everybody emergency end staked all of their stakes? That means it'd be 0%.
I'll get right.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
What you're trying to say is there's a shit ton of HEX being paid to the stakers on the big payday, and that's all that matters. That's what you're trying to say, isn't it?
Well, this is an interesting point. This is very interesting.
There's so many stats. There's just stats all over the place.
Someone in the chat,
work out what the
Abracadabra, is saying that you're right on the point of the percentage. So that implies that I'm not right on something else. So why don't you explain to me what I'm not right about, Abracadabra? I'm interested to know. I'm happy to open the discourse.
Mate, I just want to ask you about your MetaMask wallets that your risk averse nature, and I know that you're heavy into the hardware wallets. So each your MetaMask, I know I'm not doing it right, but you're using like a ledger for every MetaMask, a separate ledger or same ledger. The easiest thing with the ledger, the easiest thing for the average person is to have one address per ledger. That's the easiest thing. Right. The second you start doing more, it gets tough to sync things up with MetaMask. It gets difficult, mate, because MetaMask can only pick up that first derivation path. Right. We talked about this before.
Yeah, so it can only pick up the first.
So you know how you've got multiple accounts in the MetaMask, and then so you got your account A or account one, so to speak. You plug in your lecture, you do all the bizzo, it hooks up. Then you get another ledger, you plug it in, and you do it on account two, and then so on through the list. Or do you have to go and set up new? Basically seed phrases for each ledger as well? Do you do it that way, or how do you do it?
You have a seed phrase. Well, it depends how you're coming at it, right? If you're organizing yourself in advance, then what you're going to do is you're going to create your seed phrase on the device, on the hardware device itself.
Gotcha.
And you're going to go about it that way.
Yeah.
And then you can import a hardware wallet into MetaMask.
Yeah.
Right? You can and so you don't even really, in MetaMask, you don't even really need to use the seed phrase if you're using your hardware wallet with MetaMask.
Yeah.
You can just forget about that, because if you lose that account, it's not going to matter. There's no address that you're using in that actual account. You're just using it to
lose your
connect
ledger?
your hardware.
Because I've lost a couple of those hardware wallets.
Yeah, well, you should still have the seed phrase backup, right?
Yeah, you've got the word on a piece of paper that's hidden. That's right.
Yeah. If you lose the hardware wallet and you haven't got a backup, you're fucked, mate. Really badly.
Got it. Yeah, well, we're not here to fuck spiders, are we? I don't want to get wrecked. Put it that way.
No, mate. No. But do you know what's interesting is if you created your accounts on MetaMask and then you decided that I want to take it off MetaMask and I want to recreate that wallet on my hardware wallet, that address on my hardware wallet, you've got to be a little bit careful about that, because it depends how deep you went with creating accounts on that MetaMask. You got the option to create more than one account in MetaMask, and you can create a list down. Yep. Well, it so happens that MetaMask have a different, they use a different standard for their derivation path of how they generate those addresses, right? So when you take those seed phrases and you put them into your hardware wallet, let's say the Ledger Nano S or Ledger Nano X, your Ledger Nano S or X is not going to pick up the ones that are deeper down it's not going to pick up the second one or the third one or the fourth or the fifth. Well, it might, but it might not pick up the ones that are deeper down the list, right?
Gotcha.
Which causes a problem because if you've got like one that's second on the list, you can't then connect it up to your, you put that onto your hardware wallet, and that first account, even though it's a different derivation path, the first path is the same. So the first address is the same, and then they go their different, they branch out in different ways further down.
Rightio. Well, let's go back and go back to talking about the big payday now. What were you saying? What were we trying to solve?
We've got a bit of a, I'm not going to say it's a disagreement. I'm going to say it's we've got contrasting ideas about how, like, what is going to happen. How is that going to be represented in the charts on hexinfo.io? There's a chart there. There's a pie chart, right? So why don't we go there? Like, can we jump there? Let's go to,
what's it called?
hexinfo.io.
Yeah.
And let's work this out. Yeah.
Is like if you've already created like MetaMask with multiple accounts, and you want to put some of those accounts onto on separate ledgers, is that possible?
I've never done it that way. It is look, the seed phrase. The issue is that the seed phrase is a seed phrase, right? The issue is going to be how are you going to be able to interact with that address that's further down. If you put that seed phrase from your MetaMask into your hardware wallet, you might have trouble interacting with those addresses that are further down. You may not be able to do it. Now, this is where a website called hardhex.xyz is very, very helpful. Mm-hmm. That website allows you to specify the derivation path that you want to access.
Right.
So that's really good for a few things. There it is. There are still some things that you can't do. There's still some things that you're limited on, right? But all the basics that you need to do, you can do using hardhex.xyz.
I suppose what you could do is just, if you wanted to create a ledger wallet with a new address on it, you just do that, and then you just send whatever you need from that address onto that. So then you've got it there on that wallet.
But it doesn't. That's true, but it doesn't address if you've got staked coins on an address that's further down the list.
Yeah.
If you've got staked coins that's further down, the only way that you will be able to interact with those addresses is through the website hardhex.xyz. Wow. So that website, so it doesn't mean don't do it.
You know, let's look into it a bit before, right?
It depends how much value do you have on that on your computer, like on your MetaMask? Do you really want to have that in a hot wallet on your computer that can get compromised at any minute?
The liquid hex you want to be careful with, but it's the staked hex is immutable. It's just on the blockchain, so
they can still emergency end stake it, mate. They can still emergency end stake it.
If your account gets compromised, yes. If you get hacked,
that's what happened to that guy. There was I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but there was someone in the Hex chat that was complaining, and I actually thought at the start, I thought that they were just. What's that?
Today? Was that today?
No, that was like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I thought they were just coming in and fighting. And I told them straight out, I'm like, look, your security obviously has not been very good to get compromised in that way. I mean, you couldn't have had very good operational security if someone's like, you know, what are you doing? Copying and pasting the words? Don't do that.
No, well, they got their seed phrase off them. That's what happened. Hey, so
if you've got malware on your computer and you copy
as well, that's another way.
You copy, like, you know, they can have access to your clipboard. You copy and paste words, and then they might not get it immediately. They might get it later. You know, they might just get it later.
MetaMask is pretty good. MetaMask is pretty good
But it's if you're copying seed phrase from somewhere and putting it somewhere else on your live computer connected to the internet.
No, that's right. You got to know what you're doing a little bit. You got to have some personal responsibility.
Hey, did you guys watch the Richard Hart live stream?
Sure did.
I'm most of the way through it. I haven't finished it yet. I
watched it.
There was a point where he was kind of like laughing and he said, "Oh, I wish I could answer some of these questions. I so wish I could answer some of these questions."
he was. They were heckling him. They've been heckling him the shit. It was funny.
Oh, you reckon it was us heckles?
No, they were heckling. He was like, "There's too many plebs. Can't answer that one."
Oh, right. Okay. No, I got the impression. Yeah, right. I'm not sure.
We don't know who the liquidity provider is, but whoever that liquidity provider is, like the HEX liquidity provider, made off like a bandit, I think. It would have made off like a bandit.
Which liquidity provider? For what? Sorry, I missed that.
For Uniswap.
Oh,
HEX liquidity provider. Whoever that is made off like a bandit. Whoever that is.
Yeah, that's right. I heard they were making like 20% or something. I'm still trying to understand how that all works. I wouldn't, I can't. I'm still trying to understand how that's very technical and sort of above my pay grade at the moment, trying to understand how that liquidity works.
I just want to answer Sapper. He's asking, he gave away his details to the scam. What happened was the guy went into a chat room that he thought was HEX support and followed the instructions of the people and got scammed. But he should have known, and it was a lot of HEX. Like he had a lot, and they emergency, and it ended up being after they. This is how much. Listen to this. This is how much HEX this guy had. Right, he had a lot. After the emergency end stake, the guys made off with $80,000 after the emergency end stake.
So that's that outlier dot up there. That's that outlier dot there. That's the day that was that scam. It was like,
yeah, that's the one.
I don't know what it was. It was like,
g'day, Brennan. Brennan in the chat. He is a HEX crypto chat Telegram chat room regular who's always in there. I want to know what Brennan thinks about what I'm saying about this stake percentage.
Well, I've brought up the wiki because I think we need to go to some text on this. So,
Brennan, what we're talking about, let me just explain it. We're talking about the percentage rate of staked HEX at the moment is 13.86. Now, my line of thought is that after the big payday, the staker class are going to have a larger percentage of the total pie because all of that big payday bonuses, well, most of it's going to go to them. So that percentage will go up, right? Or am I on the wrong track here?
No, I think you're on the wrong track. I think you're on the wrong track because our share rate doesn't change. Our share rate is the percentage.
It does change. No, the share rate, but your shares do change.
No, it doesn't.
Share chart. Where's the purple dot chart? No, there's a line. There's a chart that shows the rate goes up.
Yeah. The share rate always goes up.
Yeah, they cost more. They cost more, but we don't get more. We have the same.
But you've got the same HEX, right?
The big payday gets paid to the interest column. It gets added to the interest column, but the share rate stays the same. It just goes up as it does.
The price it gets more expensive.
So the cost to buy a trillion shares goes up a lot.
Yeah,
the cost to buy shares goes up. But
I know the cost to buy shares, but the staker class is going to have more value in that staker class.
No, it goes into the interest. You don't get your interest until you finish your stake.
So those coins aren't on the market until.
That's right.
But that 13.86 is not on the market right now either. So they're going to go into that wedge of the pie.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like whether there's 10 HEX coming out in the future or if there's 40 HEX coming out in the future, that means that in the present there are no HEX.
Hang on. Are we talking about the same thing? I'm talking about this. Rex Pirate, do you reckon you could put the staked HEX the hexinfo.io staked hex pie. Yeah, if you scroll down, there's a pie there. That one there, right? So that wedge of the pie, currently, if you hover over it, what's the number there? It's 54.8 billion hex staked, right? Now, if you go onto the other one, what is it? It's 341.
This one?
Billion. Yeah, 341 billion is the other part. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but on big payday, that 54 billion is going to go up. It's going to go up by 180 billion.
Oh, that's only. I think that's only counting principal, isn't it? That percentage there is only counting the principal. The interest is not.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're not in existence yet.
That's staked. Isn't it? That's staked.
That's principal stake.
But the thing is, they haven't come into existence yet.
Yeah,
but these ones here aren't in existence. 54 billion here are not in existence. They're burnt.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. That's true as well.
So if you're representing 54 billion burnt ones there, on big payday, when they don't come into existence in being minted.
It doesn't matter whether it's 50 or 180 or 200, 270 or whatever amount. They haven't come into existence yet, so they don't exist yet.
But they're represented in the contract. And if you go to
people own their own contracts that they can later run, and that running of that contract will spit out a lot more hex.
But if you go to
okay.
Look, what will happen is
okay. Thank you. Hang on. Stop. Brendan has addressed my question. I think we should pop that one up on the screen.
This one.
Yep. Why don't we have a read of that? The pie chart just represents supply locked, which means after big payday distribution, more supply gets locked, so ratio goes up. That's what I'm saying.
Does it?
Yeah,
really,
but it won't go up to. But it won't go up to 40%. It'll just it just means there's no supply pressure.
Hang on.
There's
what
less,
we're saying
there's less supply pressure.
If there's 100 or 180 billion being paid to the staker class, and when I say being paid, let's just say being allocated to the staker.
It's interest,
right?
It's allocated as interest from inflation, or it's a one-off reconciliation of the bonus tokens for the circulating.
So you're saying that
exactly.
Interest?
Yeah, it's like a one-off inflation.
Yeah, I get you. But are you saying that interest doesn't get represented in that pie?
That doesn't. That's the principal stake. That's the burnt. When you stake your coins, you're burning them, and you're burning the principal. That's why when you look on X Live and you look at this is a
so Brendan agree. I think Brendan is in agreement with what I'm saying, right? That's what he's put there. I wish I'd made a bet with you. Oh, we should have bet 100,000 hex.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking to Blue Bomb.
I think you're right. I think you're both onto it. It's a shit ton, and if you stake your coins, then you get.
Brendan's just said it'll be like 200 billion locked, and a total of 600 billion total. So whatever the percentage ratio is. So in actual fact, Brendan, it's there's 54 billion locked. There's going to be about 180 billion.
600 billion total. Yep.
And there's going to be about 670 billion total at the end. So I worked it out before where it's going to be about 35%. It's going to be about 35%.
So you're saying that the staking percentage will go up by about 35% based on the big payday, not based on the
Brendan is at the moment. So about 33% staked.
Starting to ramp up now. Staking's starting to ramp up now, and see where staking's just starting to. There's more stakes going on. That's these big line, these big graphs here, and I think that's gonna keep going. I think there's gonna be staking FOMO before the big payday. You know,
Brennan's got the right. We're going to be rich. End of story. I know. It's like,
yeah,
it's like we're rearranging the chairs on the rocket ship.
Yeah.
I think.
But
so.
do you understand what I'm saying though? It's going to go up. It's not going to be 13. It's not going to be 13.86%. It's going to go up. It's going to go up because the stakers are going to get all those allocated.
Yeah. I saw that. I originally came back because I said I saw that HEX stats graph, and it said that it went up to 40%. And I was wondering whether that was referring to that percentage, whether it goes up to 40%. But,
so what's a 33% staked APY?
What? Sorry,
the APY for 33% staked. What would that be? I should bring. Where's that graph? I think it's on hex.com.
Yeah, I know it's on. It's actually on Hex graph, and it's also this one here, isn't it? That one. So
yeah, that's the one.
Oh, it's a miserable. It's a miserable 11%.
It's an 11%.
Oh, that's terrible. Isn't that? That's horrible. I can't cope with 11%. What's people? Come on, there's nothing like this in the world. This is the best financial product going around.
Yeah,
nothing's paying like this in anywhere that I've seen. You know, gold, silver. I don't know. Look, I'm not an expert, but hey,
like the good old days of 27% APY will be gone. They will be. We're going to look back on these days.
People are scared. People are scared of crypto. Conservative people with money are scared of crypto because they think it's not safe. And so, you know, it's like 20 years ago when no one would want to buy anything on the internet with their credit card because they thought they were going to get thieved, you know, and that's what they do. But there's movement at the station, and it's because of the banks. It's because they're quite happy to leave their money sitting in the bank when they're getting, you know, 3 or 4%. But now that the interest rates have dropped to maybe 1% or 0%, and inflation's going up to like 3 or 4 or 5%, and you're getting your monies, you know, being eroded away by this invisible tax. These people that have money aren't stupid. They want to put their money where there's money going around trying to find somewhere to go, you know, like at the moment in the world. You know, the old world, you know, the older generation, like we're probably slightly sort of like I'm a Gen X, and I know that a lot of the crypto people that are in crypto are even younger, again, like millennials and that. But, you know, like the baby boomers and that have been around all this time and have money, you know, they want to put it in something safe and secure, like, I don't know, once and maybe in a couple of years' time as the adoption improves and as the safety and knowledge and that gets out there. Like, that's why we try to educate about this thing, because, I mean, there's nothing like it, is there?
Hey, Pirate, can you go into HEX Pro? And I just posted the chart that I was talking about where there was a number I didn't understand on it.
Okay.
Also, total shares will be going down after big paydays, so proportionally our ownership by percentage of the shares will go up as well. And it's a good point. And as also as those end stakes happen in the first year, we're going to go up on that percentage, on the ratio. Like, we're going to become, if you're a squid, you're going to be a big dolphin.
Oh, really? You think we'll go up in our ranking?
As end stakes happen, yeah, you're going to go up. If you've got like a, if you're evenly balanced, right, in your staking, if you're not like too heavily like in the first year, if you've got like some deep stakes, the people who have only got like early stakes, as they end stake, your percentage, you're going to go up. You're going to go up in that ranking because you're going to own more of a percentage.
That's right.
Because you've got that original share rate, that you got when, you know.
Yeah, it's a deflationary. It's a deflationary technology. So the shares technology is deflationary, and whereas the HEX token.
I would have thought there's more people.
So there's a point in the future. That's what we talked about, and I said it I've tried to say it as a peak like that, but the way it's presented here shows that there's a point in the future where the shares basically, as you say, they deflate, and you actually become a larger shareholder because it gets harder and costs more and more HEX to buy the shares. You know what I mean? So there's going to be more and more. So it's like a carrot stick thing where it costs more HEX to buy the shares to get the same amount of staking power as it would. So then what's that doing is burning tokens from the supply to get more shares. And then of course there's basically economic market forces, supply and demand, as simple as that. So yeah.
So do you want to go back to that other graph or that other table?
Yep.
And so see how in the purple columns you see percentage staked.
Yep.
Over there of coins, and then 3 columns over. Oh no, 2 columns over. Oh no, just 1 column over. Sorry, no, 2 columns over. You have stake percentage, including BPD payout.
Gotcha. Oh, that's interesting. Wow, that's really interesting. That's really interesting. So I think.
And see how it's dropping? Do you notice how it's dropping? It's dropped from 43 on the 1st of September down to 41.2 on the 22nd of September. And I would say by the 19th of November, we're going to be hovering around the 33, like Brennan said.
Okay, right. Okay, so yeah, right.
Okay, so
that's someone has mentioned in the chat
jump,
that
just in marketing wise, like that's like a third of it's been locked up. Like,
but it's okay because you're getting less per year. But the only reason you're getting less is because you were staked and you got this big chunk deposited into your account on big payday, right?
So
you've got this massive windfall in exchange for getting a less. So who cares? You know, it's good.
Well,
it's good. You've got, all right, put it this way. You've got so much more HEX now that you're accruing interest on. You're accruing interest on that big payday HEX.
Mate, I'll be happy with 4 or 5%. I don't care. At the moment, we're getting 26.
Yeah, you're right. But the point is that if you're getting 10%, if you're getting 10%, but you've got way more HEX, you're getting 10% on, then
really? That adds to that.
Yeah. So instead of, let's say you've got 100,000 HEX and you're getting paid 27%, and it drops down to 10% after big payday, but you've got 300,000 HEX now, and you're getting 10% on 300,000 HEX. That's why your return, that's why the share rate return goes up. That's why per trillion shares, it jumps up to 10 HEX per trillion shares.
Brennan's been calling you out.
Brennan's saying, no, mate.
Yeah, he's like, he's throwing down the gauntlet. Nah.
Have you seen that Die Hard movie?
I think you do, mate. I think you do.
Remember that Hands guy off the Die Hard, Bruce Willis?
It's based on the shares. It's not based on the amount of HEX in there. It's based on the shares.
But okay, all right. But the HEX that's in there, okay, all right, hang on. We're sort of coming at it from different angles, but we're talking the same shit. Those figures that you see in go.hex.com that show you what's in that column are worked out based on the shares, right? Can we agree? Can we agree on that?
Which one are you talking about?
Like in go.hex.com, when you plug in your wallet, and you know when you go to stake and you do all of that, and you can see all your stakes.
Yeah.
Right. Those numbers are worked out from your share rate. So we're talking the same shit here. I'm talking in terms of HEX, and you guys are talking in terms of shares. It's the same shit.
Okay.
Right. We're saying the same shit.
Well, Brendan. But Brendan kind of like there is something it is something different. Like the BPD bonus is it's not share rate.
Yeah.
Brennan is right.
It's sort of semantics here.
So, all right. So that's all right. Let's move on, shall we?
Yeah,
I think we sort of, I would like to move on. I would like to, but I think we sort of, we've got a point here. We've got this sticking point with, people telling me I'm wrong in there. Why do you get more? Why now are you getting 4 hex per trillion shares, right? Why is that happening now? And then after big payday, you get 10.
Yeah.
Because
why is that happening? You're getting more interest. You're getting more interest. It's based on the share rate.
You're getting more hex per share. Because you have the same amount of shares. You're just getting more hex.
Okay. Look at this.
We're
and
saying
it costs more. The shares cost more as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's because because hex inflates and because the shares deflate. So the growing hex supply, there's 183 billion tokens being added to the circulating supply times 3.69% daily, or whatever, or however that's it's a complex formula that calculates that interest rate. And the shares are basically like a compounding, like a complex compound. It's not a simple compound; it's a complex compound, and it's in that financial audit. So if you have a look, if you're interested in this stuff and you want to go in, it's over my head. I'll admit that the maths is more advanced than what I can do. But if you look at this financial audit that was written, talks about the longer always pays better, and so forth.
So I just want to address. When I've got a minute to talk about it, I want to address this point because the numbers, mate. I know we could go all night. I could, but I just we seem to have a few people saying this in the chat, and I want to address it. The numbers that you see in go.hex.com, right? They are numbers that are derived from the share rate. So by your shares that you've got staked, or no, your hex that you got staked, the shares that you have, right? And those numbers are derived from that. So if I'm going to talk about hex, and I'm talking in terms of the interest on the hex from big payday, I'm talking about the equation in hex, but you can talk about the equation in share rate. It's at the end of the day, you're getting paid based on the percentage of what those hex that get allocated to you in go.hex.com that you can see in the interest column. You could work out that, okay, well, the percentage interest rate is this, and I'm going to get paid this much interest based on these hex that are in this column.
I think that the big payday just gets added to the interest, and then it just keeps ticking along based on your T shares. And because the total circulating supply grows and is inflating at 3.69 max per year, then you'll get more
your principal changes. It goes into your principal, but you still have the same amount of shares.
I think the big payday goes to the interest, not your principal.
It's all the same.
That's actually the question.
It's all the same.
Okay, sorry, right.
If it goes into your interest, or does it go into your principal? I'm saying that
it's all the same. It's all yours.
Principal, and that the big payday is interest.
Principal is what you originally put in, right? Principal is what you originally put in.
Correct. So you see capital.
But you burn it, so you don't actually have them, right? So when we see those figures in the go.hex.com website or app HEX, whichever one you go to, and you see those numbers, they're based on the shares that you have. That's what they're based on. So
you're burning the hex for shares.
Yeah, but the figures that you see are shown on the website in hex.
Principal. Right? So you're burning your hex.
You're right, but you see them they're burnt, but you still see them in the column, and they say hex, right? But they're burnt.
In the principal column, yes, you see them.
But even on the interest column, you see the hex number.
No, you don't.
It's just like a bonus. It's a bonus that's paid in the future.
That's right. You're seeing how much.
They say hex. But they say hex. The number that you see is in hex. You see it. So we know that that's not real. It's not minted hex. We know that's not minted hex. What we know is that is what, based on the shares that we have, that's the equation has been done, and that's what we would get, right?
That's the interest that you're being paid trustlessly from the inflation
contract. Yeah, yeah. I don't think we actually, any of us, disagree on it.
No, we don't.
I think it's a bit of there's a bit of semantics going on.
There's complex mathematics, and there's advanced mathematics, and there's computer science as well. So, but as I say, the technology is inflationary. You know, the value of the value of HEX will inevitably get more valuable as time goes on. Because the longer
I've got a question for you guys, right? So we know that on big payday, the total, not just circulating supply, but the total amount of HEX, whether staked or not, is going to be pushing 700 billion, right? Are we on the same page there?
600 billion, I think Brendan put in the chat.
It's going to be about 670. It's about 670. But this is just based on what.
Yeah, well, it's not set in stone, but it is. That's the estimates at the moment.
I'm just going off what Richard Hart said the other day in his stream.
It's about 600.
He said, like the total will be about 670. That's what he said that he thinks it will be.
That's even better. I'll go with Richard Hart.
So I'm happy for someone to tell me, please feel free to tell me if I'm wrong. But if we go 670, right?
Right.
And then we multiply that by 1.0639 to the power of 15.
Lost me there, mate. Lost me on that one. So
3.69% compounded, right? 6.39% compounded.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. That's the power of 15.
Yeah, 15 to the power of 15. Right? Yeah. So that's going to give us 1.15 trillion HEX. Now, we don't know what the breakup's going to be, staked or non-staked or whatever. We don't know that in 15 years. But 1.15 trillion HEX.
That 670 billion includes the big payday HEX.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So, but as I say, and then of course there'll be more staking, but at some point in time,
more than 1 trillion. Yeah. Sorry, go on, mate.
No, 670 billion. That's it.
Yeah.
And
in 15 years.
Okay, so gotcha. Okay, so you're saying that as the total supply grows in 15 years, it'll be over 1 trillion. Well, that's all right because more is better.
Yeah, it's going to be 1.15 trillion based on what I'm looking at, and I'm happy for someone to tell me otherwise. So that means what that means, right? That this is very interesting. What that means is that there's going to be 480 odd billion new supply of HEX over the next 15 years, right or wrong? I don't know. I'm asking you guys.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so the only people who are going to get that, apart from the OA who gets their share of, whatever they get their share of emergency and stakes and whatever, the only people who are going to get that supply are the ones who are staked.
That is correct.
All people who are buying HEX.
Or sell.
Anyone who buys HEX.
Not the new supply. The new supply goes to the stakers.
Well,
but look at the liquidity because
the only people who are going to get the 480 billion HEX new supply, the only people are the stakers.
Yeah, okay, true. But
get it.
As soon as a new person buys HEX and stakes it long into the future, they then will be earning it.
They can get their share of it. They can get their share of 480 billion. But dude, that's a lot of HEX. 480 billion. If you've got, we are the Fed now. Yeah, baby.
Got it good. Big money. That's it.
Yeah. So anyone who sells their stake, sells their HEX, is going to be selling it to people, people who buy, like, so if someone wants to buy HEX, they're going to have to buy our HEX because we're going to be the ones who get all the new HEX.
Correct. That's what
right?
Richard.
And we'll have our price. And we'll have our price. Like,
well,
what's your price? Tell me, what's your price?
Lots.
I don't know, man. My price is not going to be like crazy. I'm gonna like, you know, I'm not going to sell it all in one go. Obviously, I'll sell little bits as I go.
And we've got 15 years of decision making.
You can't sell it. You can never get out of HEX. You always keep it rolling. So, I mean,
yeah, but you're gonna want to put some in Ethereum. You're gonna want to have some in Aussie dollars. You're not gonna. I mean, what's the point of having only HEX and not spending it? You're just gonna create this.
Yeah, you don't want to not spend
become a shark, and then what? Like, you're gonna want to put it into Australian dollars at some point and like buy something, or unless we get to a stage where people will accept HEX for everything, that'd be pretty handy.
I'm interested in this crypto.com, and I'm interested in some of this Visa, those transactions where you can actually use different.
That crypto.com is dodgy as, man. I wouldn't do it. You have to lock up.
What about CoinJar?
You have to buy their Crow tokens. You have to lock them up to have it.
Yeah, you have to lock them up for 180 days, but they're cheap. But what about the this coin payments thing where you can actually, and I've heard. Gifting you HEX, you know, Gary from Funding Jim, he talks about, you know, doing e-commerce using cryptos. I mean, we're so far behind at that stage in Australia, aren't we? Well, I want to get my invoices paid in crypto. I don't want to have to go and deal with, you know, I have to go through the exchanges and put money across, and I'd like to get paid in ETH or preferably HEX, but I'll take ETH if I can get it. But it's not that easy.
Have you ever tried asking someone for payment in a crypto?
No, I work for old school property building owners and that. So no.
I mean, you could just take the money. You could just take the money and then put it into.
Well, I can, but that's what I mean. That's what I do now. But it would be nice.
G'day, Gary. Gary's in the chat. Gary's in the chat. Mate, $70,000 won't get you very far in Australia, because that's like
really
$45,000. Not Melbourne, mate. Not Melbourne.
No, I'm actually a Melbourne person. I pissed off after the first lockdown. I'm on a road trip that hasn't ended.
Hey, Bluebum, do you have kids? Do you have kids, mate?
No.
Yeah, that sort of changes the equation slightly.
Yeah, I don't have any of those things to tie me down to that. Yeah. Crazy, yeah.
Yeah, mate.
Whereabouts in Melbourne are you? I probably shouldn't say on. How's it going in Melbourne?
I'm sort of Bayside Peninsula, like on that side of the bay.
Oh yeah. I live near there. I live just near Balaclava.
Oh yeah. I'm a bit further down. Yeah. But look, I don't think 70,000 gets you very far. Like, you know,
it's all. Yeah, I mean, it's all relative. I can live on like nothing, or I can, you know, like.
Yeah, like you gotta, like if you've got a mortgage and you've got kids, you know, like kids cost like coin, mate. They are,
and so do ex-wives. You know, they say find a woman that you'll eventually get sick of and give her a house every 5 years.
Do they?
I've never heard that before. I've never heard it. Tell me, mate.
That's what happened. That's what happened to me. Yeah, that's like my ex-wives are making out like bandits, and I'm living in the top box. Yeah. That's all right.
Not for long, hey?
They've got, you know, they've got to get their hair and their boob jobs and all their other la-di-da driving around in their Rangies or whatever. So,
nice.
You know, but you're only there to give them money.
After taxes, US, 70,000. So in Australia, after taxes, 70,000 is probably about earning 95 grand. Oh, you're sort of like, that's still like teachers earn more than that in Australia.
No, that's only about,
teachers earn like 110 grand.
That's 100 grand. Well, that's a modest living.
It's a modest, yeah. It's not because remember you got the exchange rate.
As long as you live within your means and you're happy, it's not all about having all the stuff. Like
you don't need much.
I was all chasing the the fancy shiny thing. Oh, look at this new shiny thing, and trying to keep up with the Joneses. That's it's just living within your means and being happy within yourself. It's not all about having all the flashiest cars every year and doing all that stuff. I don't know. There's got to be something that you're into, that you enjoy, that you want to invest in with your time. But it's not to be in things.
No, but it also depends on what you. I mean, when you got like this is the discussion I have with my wife at the moment is like, where are we going to send our kids to school? Maybe primary school. I'm not
young kids, have you?
Yeah. I'm not too concerned about like they're very good. Lots of very good state schools, but I'm thinking secondary. I'm thinking, it'd be nice to send them somewhere, somewhere, and that's expensive. That's just expensive. That stuff's 30 grand a year.
Yeah. Well, have a look at the Catholic colleges, mate, because I send my kids to a Catholic college, and I'll tell you what, they are getting a really excellent education, and they're doing so well. They're thriving. My kids are thriving at Catholic college. Yes, there's religion and yes, there's all that, but who cares? They're getting a decent education, and there's probably 40-50% less than a private school. A private school for the same tuition would be, as you say, like you're looking at 20-30 grand a year for some of them.
Yeah. And I like what the Catholic schools do, this thing where if you have one kid there and then you add another kid, like it doesn't cost any more, does it? Or it costs like it's nominal.
Well, I got two kids.
I like that. It's like 2 for 1.
Yeah, well, it is almost. It's a little bit more, but you do get a better. It's not like it's not like the private schools where you get double whack. They give you a discount for your second kid that's at the school. So it's not like
the school fees are tax deductible in Australia. I haven't looked into this. School fees tax deductible.
Doubt it. Don't know. Doubt it. Maybe. Geez, they're asking the wrong person there. Yeah. All I do is try to keep.
They should be. They should be tax deductible.
In front of the queue.
They should be tax deductible, don't you reckon?
If you earn money off your kid, maybe it should be tax deductible.
No, because you think about it, you send your kids to a private school, and that child is no longer weighing on the public system. So
that's right. Your tax deduction.
You get a tax deduction for sending your kids to private school.
Yeah, you're onto something.
Maybe the private school parents should get paid to send their kids to private school.
ScoMo about that one tomorrow. ScoMo. School fees are tax deductible. What do you think they'll say to that? I don't think I'll get a look in, but nice idea though.
I'm just thinking aloud.
It'd be good to. But you got to get your kids get your kids a good start. Give them a good education, the best you can afford. Basically, that's my view. I've got 3 kids, so I
agree.
They're doing real good, and that Catholic school's been the best thing for them. My daughter she's really tall, 15 years old. She plays goal shooter. They went undefeated this year. They're all in the rep team, and she's just really naturally talented at sport, so she's doing good and she's also doing good in the education side of things too. Trying to teach them about HEX, but they don't want to listen about anything I got to say. But that's just being a dad, isn't it?
That's the age.
I've had so much trouble. I've had so much trouble getting any no coiners. Like I've gotten my girlfriend, and that's it really. Like it's been so hard. Like that's a big sort of hurdle at the moment, but it's really hard to get people it's to see the kind of brilliance of it,
Well, lead a horse to water, but also even there's a lot of just even in Australian crypto, they're oblivious. Like there was are you on CoinSpot? Because I got an email from CoinSpot saying, they listed the Uni token, they were selling it for $6.21 this morning. Did you see that? And yet HEX is nowhere to be seen. And I rang them and said, hey, how about, I set up a telephone interview with SwiftX. They rang me just as a customer service. And I said, have you heard about HEX? And they talked about, the guy was saying, oh, yeah, we'll have to have a look at that one. And I've been around crypto for all this time. And yet, we're not getting any penetration into the mainstream, are we? It's really just it's almost like
no, we are. I think it's happening. Look at Twitter. Look at Twitter, man. Not the mainstream, obviously. That's the point. Like the no coin is like that's gonna be the tech is gonna have to be simpler. And
yes,
I don't know. Like let's see what happens with Staker app, hey? But like
maybe
some interesting comments in the chat there.
How are we going in the chat?
Some interesting comments.
Genetic improvement.
Selling your service.
Hey, thanks for coming on. I hope you're enjoying the show, guys. I don't want to let these drag out for too long. Probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours, unless we get anyone else want to join us. We'll probably wind it up. Any particular areas guys want to look at with HEX tonight? Did you see Conrad Zen? He was basically calling out those gold ETFs, calling them that paper gold is a what did he say? It was a like a Ponzi scheme, or basically they're not worth the paper they're written on, because the government can just seize the gold, and it's not an asset or a commodity that you want to get involved in, those ETFs. And he's one of the he's one of the best HEX advocates, and putting out YouTube and consistently every day putting the message out in real sort of old school manner, but also very, very smart, much clever mathematician than probably all of us put together. And he presents really well. Have you seen Conrad Zen?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy. He used to be in computers. Like, he's been in computers for a long time. I'm not sure specifically what, but I know he had something to do with Bitcoin early on.
Yeah, he's a Bitcoin Foundation member, whatever that means. That's what he says he was. So I don't know. You have to. I'm not the right person to talk to or ask about that, because I got no idea what that is. I have no idea what that means. I had to sort of look it up to find out what it was.
The Bitcoin
Foundation. Into the Fires asking about is saying to talk about tax stuff. Maybe next episode we can have a chat about the tax implications in Australia.
I can in brief that, though. It's treated like a capital gain. It's capital gains tax.
So it's only So is it only when we go back into Aussie dollars?
The tax event occurs when you convert your crypto back into Australian dollars. They'll get you. Yep, they'll get you. But there's a thing in there around, there's like a 10K cap. So I'll dig up the article. There was a really good article written by one of the exchanges, believe it or not, that explained it all. And there's actually some detailed websites now with information on cryptocurrency tax laws and that type of thing for Australia. And you actually pointed up when we first spoke, OG, about taxation, that you said if you hold an asset for 12 months and you get a capital gain, the capital gain goes in half. So effectively, it's like you might be up for like 15%. Well, I'd rather pay 15% tax than 30% tax, and that's pretty good. I mean, you got to give something back, because but by the same token, you don't want to be giving the government more than they deserve, because they don't do a very good job.
Mate, have you guys have seen that clip, haven't you? Which clip I'm talking about, the Kerry Packer one. Yeah, I love that clip. That's the best clip ever. The Senate's hearing, how he gives it back to the senators.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he gives it to them. Awesome.
Yeah, in the chat, look up Kerry Packer Senate.
I need to bring back the characters in Australia.
Can we show that? Oh, can we show that clip?
Too many politically correct nonsense going on these days. I'll see if I can find it. Yeah, I do like that. It's a classic.
What were they questioning him over? What were they questioning Kerry Packer over?
Just over the finances and how the structure of his business, how he was they were accusing him of avoiding tax, and he basically comes back at him and says, if you're not minimizing your tax, you're a moron, you know? because you guys don't spend it very well. It's the best clip. He just hands it to him. It's
House of Reps Select Committee. Which one was it? Full version. House of Reps Select. Kerry Packer's political. I think it might be this one.
I mean they set the rules of the game, hey. So you got to play them. We've got to play by their rules, so play them.
Let's go out. Let's go out with the Kerry Packer clip.
Good idea.
All right, guys. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and thanks to all the guys in the chat. We will we'll be coming on again soon. I think next week, probably. Is that right, mate? Next week?
We'll discuss. We'll discuss whether we come back next week or in a fortnight's time. But I think we should keep strike while the iron's hot, and once a week. I think we'd be all right, eh? If you guys want, you guys come back and keep talking about it, because there's certainly so much. There's a lot to talk about, and it's really exciting. It's great as we're drilling into the big payday and getting stuck into that. So I enjoy talking to you.
Make sure you shill our stream, guys.
Yeah, I'm not much of a shill, but we'll have a bit of crack anyway. Right, I'm going to share my screen. I'll see you later.
See you, mate. Stick on. We'll talk. Can't hear it, mate. Can you turn it off?
Sitting here saying nobody